This week on Healthy Living, we join a woman in Kigali, Rwanda, celebrating Ramadan. She shows us best practices for food preparation and breaking the fast. And do certain foods really affect libido? We'll find out. Plus, we'll see a different way food and medical supplies are being delivered right to people's doorsteps. That's in this edition of Healthy Living. Hello, I'm Kamiti Kibayasi in for Lina Hamadou. Thank you for joining us on Healthy Living. Fasting is simply defined as abstaining from eating and drinking for a period of time. There are several reasons. Someone might fast for medical purposes and disease prevention as a form of protest or for spiritual purposes. Some Christian religions, for example, have a fasting period before Easter called Lent, while Muslims have a period of fasting during the month of Ramadan. Regardless of the reason for fasting, experts say there are some health benefits. Research shows intermittent fasting, which is defined as cycles between brief periods of fasting with either no food or significant calorie reduction, and periods of unrestricted eating, can help fight inflammation, may improve blood pressure and cholesterol levels, may also boost brain function and prevent neurodegenerative disorders. There are best practices in breaking the fast so that it can be done safely. We followed a woman in Rwanda to the market and around her kitchen as she prepared her evening meal called the Iftar. She gives us an up-close look at safely preparing the food and breaking the fast. Our correspondent, Saudanyira Shirambere, takes us to Kigali.
Ramadan, the holy month where Muslims practice fasting and delicious home cooking. There's a meal eaten before sunrise called sahur and the evening meal to break the day-long fast called iftar. We start in the market of Kigali, Rwanda, where Saudanyira Shirambere is making sure the bunch of garlic is firm and doesn't have too strong of a smell. That's how you know it's good. Everything she buys today will be used to prepare the evening meal.
First of all, I give you welcome at home.
Iftar is the first meal after fasting all day, but there's a method to breaking the fast.
After fasting, it is nice to take this fruit before anything. Fruit, water, or juice. You can also take vegetables or salad.
Experts say this slow start to breaking the fast keeps you from having indigestion, overeating, and even choking. So even though you're hungry, they recommend taking your time. Safely preparing the food also requires some patience. It's important to wash everything thoroughly to get rid of any germs that could make you sick, like Salmonella or E. coli. Now we cook. We're making matoke.
We are going to prepare a heavy meal. We have plantain, we have potato, we have cassava, tomatoes, carrots, and oil.
Matoke is a favorite recipe in Rwanda, and for good reason. It's delicious, easy to digest, and thanks to the East African highland bananas that are usually in the dish, it contains a lot of resistant starch. It's low in sugar, so diabetics can enjoy it, and the high levels of potassium help maintain normal fluid levels inside our cells. Another ingredient, cassava, contains lots of vitamin C, which your body doesn't produce on its own, but it needs to help the body heal, to form blood vessels, cartilage, muscle, and collagen in bones. The health impacts of the fast also extend to mental health. It's a time where people are celebrating and encouraged to connect with their families and communities. Some experts say a downside of fasting is the possibility of increased irritability. but it can also give you an increased sense of achievement, reward, pride, and control. They also warn anyone who suffers from an eating disorder, mental illness, or any other health concern should consult their physician before partaking in the fast.
Fruits are widely known as an important source of essential vitamins and minerals needed for optimal functioning of the human body. As their demand increases during Ramadan, nutritionists are, however, advising people to eat their fruits with moderation. The nutritionists also caution that some fruits are not good for certain persons and therefore should be avoided. VOA Hausa Al-Hassan Bella interviewed Zainab Isah Abdullahi, an Abuja-based nutritionist.
Yanzu idan ka duba larurorin da suka fi yawa.
If you take a look at the predominant health problems in our society nowadays, they are mostly ulcer, hypertension, high blood pressure, and diabetes. Every fruit is very high in one type of vitamin, nutrient, or another. For some, it is fructose and glucose. Some have fat, while some have citric acid. Fruits with citric acid are not good for people with certain conditions. For example, if someone with an ulcer eats lime, or bitter lemon, or pineapple, it will affect their stomach lining and make the ulcer worse. Fruits with high amount of fructose and glucose are not good for people with diabetes. A diabetes patient should not eat ripe bananas because of their higher sugar content. There is fiber in them, which slows digestion, preventing blood sugar spikes, but they can have a higher glycemic index, which is not good for diabetics. The level of fruit consumption can determine whether they positively affect or negatively affect the body. If you consume too much, it can trigger some conditions. For example, if you have diabetes and you eat a small amount of fruit, it may not affect you compared to consuming too much. If you have hypertension or high blood pressure and you eat a banana, that is fantastic, because bananas lower the level of blood sodium. For people without health concerns or allergies, you can eat any fruit, but you should still avoid taking in an excess amount, because these fruits can cause reflux and stomach discomfort.
You may have heard there are foods known as aphrodisiacs, meaning they increase libido. But are there actually certain foods that have this effect? The short answer is yes, but it's worth noting that experts say a diet that includes vegetables, lean proteins, limits sugar and saturated fat can help reduce the risk of libido-killing disorders like hormone conditions and metabolic syndrome. But there are also some foods in particular commonly touted as aphrodisiacs, such as oysters. The high zinc content may help testosterone levels, according to a study published in 2018. Another study suggests arginine, an amino acid found in protein-rich foods like chicken, milk, and whole grains, may help treat mild to moderate erectile dysfunction. And apples, which are rich in quercetin, an antioxidant and type of flavonoid that promotes circulation, is used in treating erectile dysfunction, and 500 milligrams a day can lower blood pressure. High blood pressure in females can lower libido and cause fatigue. Other flavonoid-containing foods are blueberries, strawberries, and cherries. COVID-19 rates have been underreported in Africa, according to a report by the WHO. Since the beginning of the pandemic, about 2/3 of people in Africa have contracted the virus, 97 times more than the reported confirmed cases. As some countries lift restrictions, Dr. Mashidiso Moeti, the WHO Regional Director for Africa, has this to say.
Our analysis is clear evidence of the continued significant circulation of the COVID-19 virus among the people on the continent. With this comes a heightened risk of more lethal variants that can overwhelm existing immunity. So vaccination against COVID-19 remains our best defense. While we know that people who have had COVID-19 enjoy some degree of immunity, this is unlikely to be universally comparable to the scientifically established immunity delivered by the vaccine.
Surges of the COVID-19 Omicron variant, called BA2, have put countries around the world on alert. It's now the dominant variant in the US, where a fourth booster has been approved for people older than 50. VOA's Laura Bowman has more.
Since March, China has been battling its biggest COVID-19 wave yet, with cases peaking in Shanghai. The government locked down the city of more than 24 million people and is requiring mass testing. England has seen a new surge of COVID-19 in recent weeks, with infection rates at their highest since the pandemic began. First detected in January, BA2, which is a sublineage of Omicron, is now the main cause of COVID-19 cases globally, and it's the dominant strain in the United States, according to U.S. health authorities.
There is no evidence that BA2 results in more severe disease compared with the BA1 variant, nor does it appear to be more likely to evade immune protection than BA1. But BA2 does appear to be more transmissible than BA1.
The U.S. government is putting a focus on long COVID, with the Department of Health and Human Services leading efforts to improve care for people with the condition, offer education about it, and advance research.
Millions of Americans may be struggling with lingering health effects, ranging from things that are easier to notice, like trouble breathing or irregular heartbeats, to less apparent but potentially serious conditions related to the brain or mental health.
Meanwhile, U.S. President Joe Biden received his second booster shot, urging Americans over 50 who've just been cleared to do so to get one too.
In the US, some restaurants and medical supply stores are turning to drones to deliver foods, medicine, and other essential goods to people's homes. VOA's Julie Tabo has more.
This drone isn't off on a spying mission or any other clandestine activity. It's delivering medicine quickly and safely to someone's home. Industry observers say drone deliveries of food, medicine, and other essential goods to homes may soon become more common in the U.S. as more companies gain approval from the Federal Aviation Administration. It's people who live in remote areas who may see the biggest benefit.
You're going to want something like a drone that is capable of locating you, picking up and dropping off to you the medical supplies that you might need.
Flytrex, an Israeli company, manufactures and operates electric drones that deliver meals from local restaurants to people's homes.
All you have to do is, as the customer, is download the app, select what you want to eat, input your home address and your credit card information, of course, and we take care of the rest.
Bash pitches home deliveries by drone as safer than deliveries by car or truck. Prior to founding Flytrex, he was a founder of a company that launched the first private interplanetary robotic mission to the moon.
Instead of flying to the moon 200,000 miles, we fly to people's backyards 200 feet above the ground.
In the U.S., Flytrex drones are currently operating in 3 locations in North Carolina.
And as we expand our service to more stations and receive more approvals from the FAA, the sky's the limit.
For the latest news and coverage on the coronavirus, stay connected to Voice of America at voanews.com. You can follow me on Twitter at MkamitiVOA. That's our show for today. Until next time, stay well and strive to make every day a healthy day.